NotebookLM is quietly becoming one of Google's most powerful AI tools, but the funny thing is, most people still use it like a simple notes app, and that means they're missing some of the best features Google has ever built. Today, I'm going to show you 5 NotebookLM features you're probably not using, and I'm going to walk through all of them with a real example, planning a full 3-day trip to Iceland. And a quick heads up, at the very end of this video, I'm going to be talking about a huge leak that just dropped. If that happens, it changes everything, so stick around for that. Alright, let's jump right in. The first feature, and honestly the most underrated, is Deep Research. Most people upload a PDF and click Summarize, but Deep Research is basically a full research agent. It takes all your uploaded documents, analyzes them together, and builds a structured plan. For the demo, I have uploaded 6 Iceland sources, a Iceland guide, which is a PDF document, and then a couple of links, a 3-day itinerary, how to drive in Iceland, the weather, and somebody's actual budget breakdown, as well as 15 attractions that are famous in Iceland. I'm going to ask NotebookLM to use Deep Research to create a complete 3-day Iceland itinerary only using my uploaded sources, include daily schedules, drive times, weather notes, safety alerts, and a realistic budget estimate. So Deep Research has completed finally. Let's see what it has created. So NotebookLM produced a full outline. It gave me a defined itinerary structure, geographic scope, so I get to make sure that wherever I'm traveling, I understand what's happening. Based on the sources I have given NotebookLM, it created a full calendar for me depending on what season I want to visit, as well a full 3-day itinerary that we can see on the screen, then an estimated breakdown of a 3-day budget based on the price and the season. So we can see, Deep Research is so good. It blends everything you upload into one smart plan, no hallucinations, no random websites, just your curated dataset. Most people think NotebookLM is just for summaries, but one of the coolest features is how well it personalizes information. I can turn this Iceland dataset into a custom itinerary based on my personal preference or personality. So this is what I asked. Based on my uploaded sources, personalize my Iceland itinerary for someone who loves photography, dislikes long hikes, and wants to stay under $800. So I'm giving NotebookLM 3 variables that it needs to consider. Number 1, I love photography. I don't like hikes, and I want to stay under $800. So let's see what NotebookLM creates based on these constraints. So because of my constraint, NotebookLM doesn't hallucinate. It actually validates the data and ensures that what I'm asking for is actually reasonable. So the first constraint of being under $800 is actually not possible, especially traveling to Iceland. So it says that I should estimate about $1,000 per person. And the most suitable option would be a 3-day South Coast and Golden Circle tour, which focuses mainly on photogenic areas while managing logistics and costs. So it has given me a reasonable idea of what I could do and the price range, and has also given me a breakdown of the cost and budget management. It has also personalized my itinerary and making it more photography focused by showing me sections like the Golden Circle and South Coast, what places to visit, and where to take pictures of those areas. So this is where NotebookLM stops being a fancy summarizer and starts feeling like a travel coach who gets your vibe. This is one of my favorite sections because NotebookLM becomes a referee between your sources. Travel blogs always contradict each other. What you find online might not always agree. Some people might think that this area might be worth visiting versus another area. So I'm going to ask NotebookLM, what do my Iceland sources disagree on, and identify the contradictions? So based on the prompt, NotebookLM identified 3 main areas where there has been a lot of contradiction, which is on trip logistics, recommended budgeting, which is really important when you're traveling, and requirements for self-driving tours. So the first thing it talks about is the trip costs and daily budget estimates. The sources disagree on what is a mid-range daily budget for a 3-day trip. For example, a funny one that it found was that people say that hot dogs usually cost around $6 USD, but another source says that it costs about $2. When it comes to activity access and tour inclusions, which is kind of like the trip logistics, it's talking about the year-round ice caves, Some people say that this specific cave is available only in the summer months, but NotebookLM thinks that some other sources are saying that it can be available to visit year round. So you can see these contradictions are really important, especially when you are traveling. NotebookLM pulls all this out and lays it flat. It's really important because it helps you understand the contradictions that are happening. Obviously, not all the sources, especially when it comes to things like travel, they're going to agree on, but you're able to see those contradictions out in a simple area, and NotebookLM helps you navigate all that chaos of online travel info in one simple space. Now, this feature is really important because NotebookLM becomes your learning source. Now, before I go to Iceland, I want to ensure that I understand the weather, I understand key features about the country, and I'm ready and prepared for the trip. So I can use things like the flashcard feature or the quiz feature to make sure that my learning is up to par. So I'm going to use a flashcard feature. So I'm going to ask it to create a number of cards. I'm going to keep it at standard at the moment. I'm also going to keep the level of difficulty at medium. And I'm going to ask it to create flashcards from my Iceland sources that help me remember weather patterns, driving tips, and must see attractions. So let's see how it does. So my flashcards are ready. I'm going to go into them. So as you can see, NotebookLM has generated about 78 flashcards for me to be ready for Iceland. So NotebookLM doesn't just summarize your sources, it helps you learn them. So let's look at some example. It asks me what are the three main iconic landmarks that constitute Iceland's Golden Circle route. I should know this if I'm trying to go there, and that is a name I can't pronounce, the geyser geothermal area, and the waterfall, Gullfoss waterfall. You can see it's also created a flashcard for safety, and that is motorists are required to drive on the blank hand side of the road. I'm guessing it's the right hand side. Right, that's correct. And then what is the mandatory rule regarding headlights when driving in Iceland? Keep them on? Yeah, day and night all year round. So this is really important because most of the time you would think, at least in North America, you would turn them out at night. So you can see these are amazing flashcards that you can use to prepare for your upcoming trip to Iceland or any place you're going to. And the last feature I want to cover is one that's hidden behind a tiny button, but it changes the entire way NotebookLM responds. NotebookLM has a configure chat panel, and this lets you completely customize how it talks to you. Most people never open this panel, but this is where you can tell NotebookLM things like how long a response should be, what tone to use, whether you want a learning guide, whether you want a custom role, how structured you want your answers. It's basically like building your own version of NotebookLM for your specific prompt. For my Iceland trip, I'm going to change the conversational goal to be more about a learning guide, or I can even customize it. So let's try the customization section. I'm going to tell NotebookLM to be my Iceland travel assistant, and I want it to keep all my answers short, practical, and focus on actions I can take. I always wanted to mention drive times, weather concerns, and budget notes, and I wanted to avoid long paragraphs, use bullets and concise recommendations, and if there are any safety warning in my sources, highlight them. Then I'm going to press save. And then to test this prompt, I'm going to ask NotebookLM to give me a realistic 3-hour mini itinerary near Vic, include drive times, weather concerns, and budget notes. So as you can see, the output is now much shorter. It's bullet based, as you can see at the bottom here. It's weather aware, as well budget aware, and it takes into consideration about safety with the weather concern and anything like that. So you can see that you can customize NotebookLM in a way to fit your needs. If you are working in a lab, you can customize it to talk more like a scientist. If you're working on a business project, you can customize it to talk more like an executive. But this feature is really important, and I hope you all get to try this out. And before we wrap up, there's one more thing I want to talk about because this could end up being one of the biggest NotebookLM updates we've seen yet. A new report popped up this week from Testing Catalog, and it shows that Google is working on something called Direct Notebook LM Import for Gemini. And if this leak is real, it changes everything about how these two tools work together. Right now, Notebook LM is amazing for research, uploading sources, analyzing them, building reports, doing deep research, all the things that we just went through. But Gemini is better at multimodal creation, building projects, reasoning, coding, vision tasks, and real-time interactions. So this new feature basically lets you open Gemini and just hit import from Notebook LM. That means Gemini instantly gets all your sources, your notes, your summaries, your deep research outputs, your saved responses, your entire curated knowledge base. No more copy paste, no more switching tabs, no more starting from scratch. And combined with Gemini's new generation capabilities, this could become the single most powerful Google workflow we've ever had. If this goes live, I'll definitely make a full video breaking down what it means and testing what kind of projects you can actually build by combining both these tools. If you enjoyed this video, this is what we do here. Fast, clear updates on the biggest moves in AI. If you want to stay ahead of everything happening in this space, make sure you're subscribed. And if you want the hands-on side, demos, tools, workflows, and everything developers can actually build with, check out the World of AI. We also run a simple no-noise newsletter that gives you the most important AI tools and updates in just a couple of minutes. Subscribe here, follow World of AI, join the newsletter, and I'll see you in the next one.